Yeah, we were all pretty young. I mean, when I was still in my 30s.
Everybody thought that there really was a need for something like this.
We had a chance to create something new, and it actually worked.
What was unique and challenging was the fact that we could get involved in anything, and that was also the exciting part.
In our first year when we opened the doors, which was in the fall of 1972, I think we had 20 graduate students and maybe about the same number of undergraduates in that first year. They're real pioneers taking a real risk on this new program. But yeah, I think people were pretty excited about it. Others, some on campus looked at us with a jaundiced eye, the more traditionalists, but I think we proved ourselves right. It was a very edgy time in American society. Universities all over the country, there were a lot of unease, and students were upset because they thought they ought to be more relevant to the world, and they're hearing too much theory and not enough, problem solving, and a lot of it had to do with the war. As I said, in Vietnam, there are people upset about that still. The Bloomington Faculty Council around the mid-1960s, they appointed a committee, and the committee recommended they develop a School of Public Affairs. The administration at IU, who also wanted to make some changes and wanted to bring in direct hands-on work with government and problem solving, and as opposed to political theory, they thought we ought to be working on governmental problems. So we're talking 1971 now. John Ryan is now president, decided he wanted to move on this, and so he approached me in the summer, and I was associate dean of the business school in those days. He invited me over to his house for a drink after work, so I went by. So they kind of laid this on me and said, would you be willing to leave the business school and come into my office and work to help do the plan for the school, and then if all goes well, you might be able to run it, So that's kind of how the thing began. I thought we needed a professional school for the public sector. And the more I got into the field, the more I was convinced that's what we needed, and that really affected the model that we developed. IU bought the Poplars about that time. You know the Poplars? Big red building on the corner of 7th Street and Dunn.
Sure, imagine starting life in the Poplars, and that you'd be tucked away in this hotel for a number of years, trying to become eventually a famous public affairs school.
It was challenging. The library was half of the boiler room, separated by a cardboard wall, which didn't make fire safety officials very happy.
The way it was set up, it had 2 rooms, and then they shared a bath. So everybody in SPEA had their own private bathroom, We were close to Nick's, and we're close to good places to walk to for lunch, and so we had a great time. Moving into this building in 1982, it was really special because we had worked 10 years to get to that point, and we'd built a program from nothing to a really flourishing, growing, lively enterprise.
That gave us our identity, it gave us the space that allowed us to do everything. Our advances in environmental science really took off because now we had lab space and students. I think that really put us on the map.
We're fortunate enough to get a new building in Indianapolis as well. And that was 1981, so before we moved into this one. That was certainly key. It was more than a job, it was a cause. Because we were determined that we were going to have an effect on society. We're going to make a contribution to that and to improving the common good.
I think SPEA has been blessed by having the right dean at the right time. And I think in the early days of having a Chuck Bonser there who had the entrepreneur spirit, who allowed you to do things, try new things, whether they're going to work or not. So that's what we did. And I think it was his personality, his spirit, his leadership that really got us where we are today. And it was just the perfect person for the perfect time.
You can trace it all back to Chuck Bonser. He started it and has remained active in it. And he's got lots of new ideas, still has new ideas. He's been wonderful. Not only was it a brand new school, but it was a system-wide school with programs on several different campuses.
The key things that Chuck Bonser did that made a difference is he created the undergraduate program at the same time as the master's program and PhD. And there are many schools of public affairs around the country right now who are wishing that they had an undergraduate program or a PhD program. So Bonser, he certainly had the vision from the beginning.
He stood for a kind of commitment to public service, and he and Nancy together were really all in this new venture. And for 15 years, they worked every day at making this a stronger place. After Chuck, we were very fortunate to have a succession of deans, each of whom made their contribution to the school. The net result at 40 years and counting is a school that really has no limit on what it could do.
Our undergraduates are predominantly in the private sector. Our master's students are probably 60 to 70% in the public sector, whether they be at the federal government, state, or local government. Young people today are change agents. They want to make the world a better place.
We're ranked second in the nation, and it's an amazing place because the professors are exceptional. Every student I've met here is very impassioned about what they do. Right now I'm actually working as an intern at the Office of Sustainability. One of the research aspects I'm involved with right now is trying to think of different behavior changes that we can bring to the campus at large and what different types of methods people can start reducing their energy consumption. SPEA actually is known for the tool set that students get when they leave SPEA. Primarily I want to make some sort of an impact, so I really would love to be working internationally in the field of energy. SPEA is an incredible place to be. You know, we have the science side and we have the policy side, and it's very unique in this aspect, and bringing those together, we can really, as students and as faculty, come together and bring about a tremendous change.
We have had a huge impact. We must have, I think probably it's between 25 and 30,000 alumni at this school now, which is really quite astonishing. You figure where we began.
I think it's widely admired for the impact that it's had in that area in the state. It's widely admired nationally. When I travel internationally, I'm struck by how many people know about SPEA, know about its work, know about the quality of its work all over the world. Our late Nobel Prize winner, Lynn Ostrom, had a significant role in SPEA as well, because that intersection of those two areas was an area exactly where Lynn did much of her path-breaking work as well. And of course it is one of the academic jewels in the university's crown, being, as I think everybody knows, the second most highly ranked school of its kind anywhere in the nation.
SPEA is a passionate place where the values of making the world a better place are shared by everyone. And of course that's its history and that's its future.
I'm just thrilled how well the school's doing. You know, we're thriving. And yeah, it's not always easy. It's never easy, as a matter of fact. And they've done a really good job.